So this is a really old Tudor house, and I was here for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, probably not 2 hours, and soaking up the vibe. I did pop inside the house, but not for long, just to chat to the lady. And I had a very strange experience shortly after I left this house, which I'll tell you about at the end. So what I wanted to do was look and see. It's the end of May, but these obviously have been in flower a while. Now I didn't quite know what they are. Are they wallflowers or honesty? They're not honesty. The leaves aren't right for honesty. But as you can see, there's lots already now in a flower, and these are only going to open up more, especially the roses in June. Here we are. Is this honesty? I don't think that is. It must be a wallflower, I think. And some Shasta daisies there, some columbine, and these lovely peach roses climbing all over the house. So, as I say, it's a Tudor structure, so be oak beamed, I would think, with wattle and daub. There are literally climbing roses everywhere over this. When I was doing my what flowers in May, cottage for cottage gardens in the UK or in this zone, I didn't think of geraniums, but they had lots of varieties of geraniums out flowering. And by the way, I didn't know what this was. I just filmed it to remind myself to see if any of you know what this strange bulbous plant is. Now look at this. Look at these white alliums against this wooden barn. Now I just think it looks like bunting. It's absolutely beautiful the way it goes up and down, up and down. It just looks like a garland hanging down rather than these sort of alliums going up. Let's just take a look at that again. Look at them, the way they go up and down like that, almost like a pattern decorated on the side of the barn, the white alliums. I was thinking if you were having a wedding, that would be quite in May. Because the alliums flower for such a good window of sort of 3 to 4 weeks, that would be really something you could prepare in advance, an arrangement like that. If you were having a May wedding and you needed those white alliums to look like a garland around your property, that would definitely be worth doing, I think. And obviously peonies flower in May. Mine aren't. Mine are behind. Mine are more like this. But we are behind this year. We have had this, and you can see the wind here, even in this. It has been relentless, the wind. So obviously this has a beautiful thatched roof as well. So that the thatched roof bit there, that is a theatre that she used for her posh, fine and fancy friends. And I'll show you who those friends are later, so keep watching. More columbine there. Love the brick pathways. So this is a border of the main cut flower garden, I think it is. So not the entire acreage isn't covered in English cottage garden. It's mainly just this bit here, but I thought I'd show you. So I do really like the repeating pattern here. Oh, by the way, another geranium, and this geranium was huge. It came right up to my chest, about 5 foot, possibly tall. And a beautiful colour and a lovely, nice, round, bushy habit. So I really want one of those. Lots of forget-me-nots like I have, and they have the poppies coming up like mine, ornamentals. But I didn't know what this was. Does anybody know what this is? Kind of orchid-like flowers. I also have a sweet pea coming out now. My sweet peas are much better than these. Ha ha ha, if you don't mind me saying. But I love this structure here. I thought this was very simple, just a nice rustic wooden pole, and then the string sort of down in a triangle pinned at the top. I really like that as a support. Beautiful alliums, and they are repeated, that little clump. So I like that clump, and they're the Purple Sensation, which is the ones I said in my other video I like the best. Lupins, another classic May flowering cottage garden plant. Not my favourite. I'm not super keen on lupins. I have mixed feelings about them. And obviously lots and lots of roses here you will see all the way throughout. I really like these kind of chicken wire cages around. I mean, I don't know what these are. I thought they were at first foxgloves, but the leaves are not right, so I don't know what they are. Again, the repeating pattern of the alliums, as you can see. So either side of the bench, they had the same pattern of flowers. So more lupins, more sweet peas. So I kind of did like that structure, that repeating pattern. It did look very nice. It did look very, even though it was cottagey, it had a more formal look. But I love these little supports. But I don't know what those flowers are because they look like foxgloves, but they haven't got the right leaves. So I don't quite know what there was. But I really like that sweet pea pole thing. More geraniums, so many geraniums, and I love these as well. Look at these, look at the colour of those. Again, they were kind of like echinops, the leaf, but the flower head isn't, but I will check and see if they are echinops. Another beautiful rose and some lavaterra I can see, which is going to absolutely blast out of that cage if it takes to that. So yeah, the leaves are like an echinops, but I don't think they are echinops. And I didn't know what this was. Is it a Canterbury bell or I don't know. That was a strange looking plant. It's obviously going to get a lot bigger. So yes, very pretty, beautiful day as well, even though it was windy. So you can see the repeating patterns. So there's actually not a massive variety of flowers. And this is where I go wrong. I overcomplicate it because I want to grow every flower under the sun. But you can see how, and that sort of big geranium takes up a lot of space. So that simplifies things because you're not having to fill up a lot of space with different flowers. Of course, there we've got the Dicentra bleeding heart, another great May flowering plant. But this geranium, absolutely, I have to get one. They didn't really have many of their plants labelled here because it's not really a formal garden that is famous and open to the public like a lot of them. Obviously, it's open to the public, but it's not really like the big. The house is more of the thing with this location. But I really love these white alliums, so I'm definitely getting some of those next year. I'm absolutely blown away. And I also thought I had too many alliums in my garden, but when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, I don't think there are too many alliums. But this was a very simple garden. It was split with 4 pathways through. Some were bricks, some were just grass. And then the planting scheme was pretty much repeated through each row. So there were 4 rows of flowers. What a simple way of actually growing a cottage garden. I mean, really, how simple. Some salvia there. You know, really keeps things simple. And when you keep it simple, you have more time to keep it beautiful. So, and that is my big failing as a gardener myself, is I just overcomplicate things. This is my mum's favourite geranium here, but I can't remember the name of it. But it's a much lower, more compact geranium than that big bushy one we just saw, which I am in love with. Anything that fills up a nice space with a nice mound and lots of flowers is for me. This is obviously some kind of forget-me-not, but I don't know. Is it Chinese forget-me-not? Is it this Russian forget-me-not? I never know what it is, but it was really tall, like I'm 5'9". It was about my height. I did notice smaller clumps of it which were quite new, which were about knee height. So I guess this is quite mature. But look at that. Look back at the house like that. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, you can see the lovely countryside in the background as well. Some more digitalis there. The foxgloves, absolutely stunning. My foxgloves are not quite this stage. So although foxgloves traditionally are May flowering, mine are a bit later, so they can flower through June. And I was just saying there that even though that salvia or whatever that was there is smaller and in the wrong place, it doesn't really matter. I think this is a saxifrage. This, again, I wouldn't have put this here. It's kind of a bit lost, but who am I to say? Peony, lovely peony. Again, there's a behind like mine. This is by the hedge as well. So I have lots of areas in my garden which are slightly behind because I have a big hedge, because I obviously want to encourage the birds. So I can't chop my hedge back yet, but I will try and do that, because once the birds have finished flowering, having their babies, because it is causing a bit of a problem at the moment. My hedge is far too big. So, but as you can see, even with the hedge there and with these flowers being somewhat in shade, I doubt they are all day, but they're only a little bit behind. You can still grow things in semi-shade. Some of these plants I didn't even know what they were, to be honest. But, you know, I think these are zinnias here. I think their zinnias are well ahead. I mean, I haven't even planted mine out yet. But again, another view back at the house. So I like to see the garden with the house as the backdrop, because, I mean, and now I had some of these in my garden and I don't know what happened to them, and I can't remember what they're called. So, you know, I don't really know how to get those back in. But there again, they grew vigorously when I had them. Pretty sure that's got to be a David Austin rose. They grew brilliantly and they clumped really well. And I don't know, I must have accidentally dug them up or something, I think. Because they've gone. And I don't know where they've gone, but they've gone. I really like the way they've organised the clumping of the alliums as well. Almost like great big candlesticks, candelabras coming up through the border. So they're not kind of just all random like mine are. They do appear to be up in candelabras, in sort of these clumps, almost by design. And I think they are by design, to be honest. I love that little bit of wooden fence there. It's just beautiful. So the other thing I was going to say, and I don't know whether I did this in my video, I was thinking about doing it, is the importance of having some neat spaces and neat manicured bits to make it look like the garden is more organised than it is. So in this case, these nice, really neat clipped pathways, and the organisation of the alliums, and when we came in, there was manicured bushes. They were circularly cut. And I think that all gives the impression that the whole thing is more organised and tidy, and has taken much more time and effort than in fact it has. And I kind of really like that feeling. I love these blue Chinese, or whatever they are, forget-me-nots. They're gorgeous. So this is and there's the hawthorn there as well. So this is, you know, it's a lovely place you can come and visit. It's owned by the National Trust. If you want to go in the house, you do have to pay. I don't think you have to pay to just come in the garden. I'm not actually sure. I mean, I've got a membership anyway, so... but obviously, if you want to, I think you can just go to the cafe and enjoy the garden that way for free. But if you want to go and look in the house, where there's absolutely amazing stuff, the house is brilliant, then obviously you'd have to pay or be a National Trust member. These are the Nigella. I've got my Nigella are a little bit behind this, but I've got all mine growing up through my forget-me-nots. So, yeah, I do actually definitely got a lot of takeaways from this garden here. But I guess this one I really love, so I'm definitely going to try and grow some of this. And I definitely would want some of that geranium. And I think I'm going to get those white alliums. I absolutely love the way they look like bunting like that along the side of that barn. And of course, I've already got hundreds of roses, so I probably don't need any more roses. So I think we've done all the rows here, backwards and forwards. Rosemary, of course, is always a good one. Theirs is really... Oh, that was lavender, probably, I suspect. More foxgloves, climbing roses up the fence. So yeah, really beautiful, shown off beautifully by a gorgeous sunny day with blue skies. So what I'll do now is I'll take you around the rest of the garden, which is not formal at all. It's just like orchards and wildflowers and things like that. So we'll have a look around and see what there is. Yeah, they're lavender and the digitalis, the foxgloves there. I've been round here before. More columbine. They've got slightly more varieties of columbine than I have. I probably have about 4 different colours, but they have more than that. Look at that. Wow, beautiful. And then here's the smaller Chinese forget-me-not. So this is probably newly planted and will probably grow up as big at least as those ones there. Yeah, really pretty. Looked really pretty. I mean, the end of May to June is a really good time if you're visiting the UK or you live in the UK. It's a really beautiful time to look at gardens. You'll often see all the rhododendrons and things like that in those big country estates. They have all the rhododendrons in flower now, so they're beautiful. Like we used to go to one as kids called Leonardsley Gardens, and I used to love it there. I mean, my girls used to call it Barbie Fairytopia because there were just, and even the pathways were pink because of all the petals had fallen onto the pathways. It was just brilliant. And then here I enjoy walking through these sort of orchardy bits and the cow parsley everywhere and the hawthorn. Look at this picnic table here in the meadow. I mean, how glorious. It's just beautiful. And the cafe is actually not that far over the other side of that picnic table. So let's go back through the orchard and just enjoy the scenery. The dappled light is beautiful. The buttercups, remember me saying the buttercups, how related to ranunculus they are and how much they kind of bud like. And in fact, when you don't look after your ranunculus, they do have much smaller flower heads like the wildflower rugged buttercups. So that's interesting, isn't it? You know, if your ranunculus were in a wildflower meadow, they probably wouldn't be as blousy. They'd be more like the actual buttercups. So I was taking care not to film actual people. So I don't know, is that an apple blossom or a pear blossom? I think it's an apple blossom. I love this. These were more alliums. These are kind of like semicircular alliums, but they looked a bit like the cow parsley from a distance. So I really am getting white alliums next year, and I loved it. And here's a rose growing up the pergola. I remember saying in my previous videos how I'm going to get rid of my blackberry bush. And yeah, I definitely think the rose is going to be more suited to that space where my blackberry bush is, because my blackberry bush is just not growing very prettily. The blackberries are superb tasting, but I can move them. Now I have a well on my patio and it did have a roof like this and everything, but you could tell it was one from somebody had just bought from some sort of thing, probably from Amazon. So I tore it down in disgust, but this is a cute one because it's real. It's obviously the real old one. And this lilac here, there was so much here flowering. The smell was absolutely divine. It really was powerful and beautiful. There's a white one there as well. Now there's a flower that I really want in my garden because it flowers with, I mean, like prolifically in all the cottages near where I am, except my cottage. And I don't know what it's called, but it looks like some kind of gladioli breed. So I'm going to be looking out for that so I can get one. way. Should do these live stream, but I'm always worried about invading people's privacy. So there's a magnolia here, just coming to the end of flowering now. Look at these beautiful grasses. I mean, this is really why people should do a bit more rewilding, because it's so beautiful. Look at the colours. With the, and I absolutely love these wild roses. I think these are just so cute and delicate. I love them. They're not delicate at all, of course. And then look at these. Wow. These are tall. These are way past my waist. Huge clump of them. I don't want to walk up here because this is like a wildflower meadow. There's pink ones there. Look at these are the wild sweet peas. These are the poisonous ones. The what are they called? I forget what they're called. Nettles. We have a thing called no mow may to let the nature regenerate. So I guess, you know, it's really good to have these lovely wild parts. Of course, it helps with any kind of beautiful garden if your actual backdrop is beautiful as well. So, you know, you've got a beautiful garden and then more beauty beyond framing it, you know. So, I mean, it really is a glorious place. I definitely recommend visiting if you're nearby. You can get a slice of cake and a coffee in the cafe as well. And yeah, it's really nice. Beautiful. I'll take you to Sissinghurst as well and Great Dixter. There's some other ones. I keep forgetting the names. But I'll definitely take you to more as we go through the season, just so we can get some ideas of planting schemes. So this area was sealed off and we weren't, obviously the public weren't really allowed to go in here, but I love those compost heaps, so I pipped my camera over the top and filmed them anyway. And I don't know what these trees were, or whether they're some sort of fruiting tree or whatever, or whether they've just been coppiced because they weren't very well or something. I don't know, or they needed to be made smaller. I'm not exactly sure. Coppiced, whatever they are. I don't know. And there's some red leaf ones over there. I've got to be careful where I direct my camera because there's some young people. Definitely there's sunbathing and I definitely don't want to invade their privacy. Oh, look at that. Look at these, beautiful. Look at this. I mean, wouldn't you just want to imagine if nobody else was coming and you could just have a meal, maybe a glass of wine. Oh, beautiful. Let's have a close up because I've showed you these before. Look at this. Horse chestnut flower. This one is very fuzzy looking. It's absolutely covered. Oh, it's just glorious. I think May is the most beautiful month. I used to think it was June, but I think everybody should get married in. Especially if you're getting married for the first time and you're young. May is the month. Symbolically and beautifully and everything. If you're going to get married, you're young and it's your first marriage, do it in May. I'm coming back to the house now. Some people glaring at me before because I think they thought I was going to film them. I've never really done this out like this before, so it is kind of awkward. Oh, there's that other bench there. The one that I saw at the beginning. So it's done a round circle. I wonder how many acres this is, I must ask. I should have asked when I was in the shop asking about the dress. Still gutted about the dress. never mind. And here we are, look back to the cottage garden, which is over there, and you've got water there. This is the algae bloom that is a particular problem around here, and it's due to, don't drop my phone, pollution. Pollution causes these blooms, so nothing can live underneath that. Isn't that terrible? I can't film. I wanted to film in there, but I can't because there's loads of people. Pretty sure the beetles have been in there, if I remember rightly. I'll go and have a look and tell you, but I can't film because there's people in there. It's her theatre, her little own private theatre, because she was an actress. Feeling, and I forgot to film this at the time because I couldn't quite remember. I have a feeling the chairs here, they're all named after sponsors and things, and I'm pretty sure, I can't be certain because I forgot to film it, but I'm pretty sure they had the Beatles' names on them, the chairs. I thought I must have been wrong about the Beatles. Anyway, just stepped out. Look at this. So I just was looking at some stuff online to see if I could find that stuff about the Beatles. So I don't know. I think I must be mistaken. But anyhow, I saw this picture of Helen Terry walking around the gardens with her granddaughter, and I thought, oh, look at that outfit. Thank goodness for jeans and good old boots. Because who would want to wear that, honestly? I know some people are kind of nuts for historical costumes and stuff, but definitely not me. So I didn't show you the picnic tables at the tea room because there were children there. So it's a shame this is stagnant because the river is stagnant. That's it. There we go, back to the to get it all in because you're right on the road. I do not want to get squished. Right. Alright, so that's it then. So if you like that video and you want to see more of these, me going around all the traditional English cottage gardens, since I'm here in England and near quite a few of them, famous ones, then, you know, give me the thumbs up and comment and stuff like that so that I know to do some more of these. But yeah, my takeaways were I love the allium garland thing, that effect around the barn. Wow, that's going to make an impression on me that's probably going to be quite lasting. I love those things I kept thinking were Chinese forget-me-nots, but were not, and I forget the name. I'll put it in the description. I also love the way that they arranged the alliums so they looked like kind of candelabras rather than you know, just sort of randomly placed like they are in my garden, sort of self-seeded. So I did like that very, very much. So, and I just really like the neatness of the pathways. Well, my grass is so worn out from having to create my borders, which I was doing last year. that I haven't really got around to fixing that. But, you know, we'll get there. It did make me think about, you know, with the way my garden is, I could have just done literally 4 rows like they did there. So it's really got me thinking. So I said at the beginning I was going to tell you about a strange experience I had after I left this house. And it was when I went to Tesco's in the market town, probably about 5 minutes from here. And I drove there and I just had to pick up some water and some, you know, little bits and bobs while it was still open. And while I was there in the queue, waiting to pay, the shop was closing, so kind of everybody was packing towards the queues because it's a bank holiday, so it was shutting at 4. And it was kind of busy all along because everybody's kind of trying to leave at once. And out the corner of my eye, as I glanced down at the other customers, I saw a girl with a long navy dress with petticoats underneath, showing white petticoats. You could see it was down to like her calves, and ankle boots, and she had long curly brunette hair down to her waist. And I thought, oh, look at that, it's sort of a traditional Victorian kind of outfit. What a coincidence, you know, because I've obviously just been to this place, not that it's Victorian, it's Tudor, but you know, we know it famously had a Victorian owner. And when I look back to have another look at her dress, because I was kind of a bit perplexed by the incongruity of the outfit, you know, in the modern day, everybody else was wearing jeans and t-shirts and all the rest of it, looking quite drab. And blow me down, she wasn't there. And I thought, oh, she must have disappeared back up an aisle. Maybe she's forgotten something. Anyway, I watched and I watched and I watched and I watched and I waited. And I even sat in the car as everybody came out. And she did not reappear. So I don't know what that was. I just cannot fathom the mind. Sometimes I have had really psychic experiences with my children, but I haven't had any for quite a while. And anyway, that was really unexpected. Like, I just wasn't thinking. I genuinely thought I saw what I saw. I saw the blue dress and I went to have another look, and when I went back, she was gone and I never saw her again. And that, it just made me think it was kind of a ghostly or some psychic encounter. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. I mean, I'm very open to all that because we've had so many, being a very close family, we do have some very strange psychic sort of interactions. So I don't know what that was, but anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video and you want to see me do some more, house tours and garden tours, let me know. And I'll see you. Let me know in the comments and subscribe and like, and that sort of tells me then that you liked it. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.